Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the Empire Fintech Conference in New York City. Joining me for this segment, we have Sheel Mohnot. He is the co-founder and GP for Better Tomorrow Ventures. We're going to take a look at the ever-evolving VC space. Sheel, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You got it, and certainly the funding, it really has transitioned from 2021, and it kind of fell off a bit in 2022, and then of course after we had SVB and some other bank failures. What does the funding landscape look like now?
Yeah, so fintech, I've been investing in fintech for now 7 or 8 years. It was really a dramatic incline, and as you said, 2021 was the wildest, where everything got funded, things were absolutely crazy, a bunch of unicorns formed. And then 2022, you saw very little activity, especially the second half of 2022. And 2023 has continued on that path. Now, I think that's probably good.
Right.
Like, I think there was way too much money, too many companies getting funded. We would see that anything we invested in, there'd be like 5 competitors that got funded, all good companies, good teams getting funded. And now what's nice is there's less funding, there are fewer companies getting started as well. So, that incremental founder that was thinking about starting something in fintech might now be doing something in AI or some other category, which is probably good. Like we had too much. So I'm actually excited about the future, but there will be a lot less funding.
In my mind, I think this valuation reset was absolutely needed, right? And especially from the VC perspective, you want to work with young management teams that care about governance, that care about profitability, that care about revenue growth, not necessarily telling that great story and having some valuation just placed on it based on, 5-year forward multiples.
Totally.
It just seemed very arbitrary. So I think in a way, as being in the VC space, it's a great opportunity for you to work with younger management teams and show them what it's like to run a balance sheet.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this transition from growth to efficiency has been, unfortunately, like a very sharp one.
Right.
Where it was like, the problem is, founders were doing what the world told them to do in 2021, which is just like spend, grow, and not worry about efficiency. And then now there's been this kind of whiplash where some founders got the memo really early and made the transition, and some founders haven't, unfortunately. But I think, it's a good learning lesson for everyone that these companies were too bloated, and I think the changes have been really necessary.
Is there an area within this space where you invest, you're mainly focused on fintech, that is stronger than others or more attractive than others?
I think in 2021, every company that was selling to fintechs did really, really well and just had tremendous growth. And now, as fewer consumer fintech companies are getting funded, there are less end users making use of fintech. So these companies are now have to find a new category to sell into. So some of that could be like vertical SaaS or B2B marketplaces or even banks. And those have been actually pretty good growth areas.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, having covered this for the past 7-8 years, covering fintech, I feel like the story's really shifted, and this was even before we saw liquidity get sucked out of the system. We saw, interest rates basically at zero, but I feel like it's no longer us versus them, and that they're looking for a way for traditional finance and decentralized finance and the fintechs kind of work together in
Totally.
Like why reinvent the wheel and spend the money organically when you can pick up a smaller, more nimble company that you can scale? Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of that. I think, to your point, it initially seemed like fintechs were just going up against traditional institutions, and now there's a lot more partnership.
All right, appreciate the insight. Great to have you on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.